Good morning, and it's Lilia from Heal Scotland and Scotland's Wild Medicine. And with me today, I have the lovely, delightful Emma Toms. Emma, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for that intro. I needed that this morning. Yeah,
Listen,
I'm really good.
I'm so happy that you're coming to the festival. I had the delight of enjoying your session at the Goddess Gathering. And I think you came to the festival last year, but you weren't actually presenting. So it's brilliant to have you on board. And thank you so much for your time, because I know that we're all, whatever this thing time is, we're all kind of trying to get enough of it. So wait a minute, this software's telling me something right now. Okay, keep going. So tell me.
Right. I know, I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be really nice. I can't wait to have a few days away as well. It's well needed after the winter.
It is definitely that time of year, isn't it? It's like this. It's getting lighter. We're starting to get a wee bit of our energy back, hopefully. Yeah. But it's been a challenge. I think, like we were talking about before we came on, it's been a real challenge in time for a lot of people.
I think it has. It's felt like a really dark winter, hasn't it? It's felt like, I don't know, just been a bit of a trudge. So hopefully this will be a nice energy boost to everybody.
Absolutely. So can you explain a little bit about what you're bringing to the festival, and also what got you into this world of actually understanding that we have a lot of power within to heal ourselves and to at the very least make ourselves feel better?
So what I'm bringing to the festival is what I bring to all of my work, really, is to kind of drop into the body and find out what it's trying to tell you. And that's been the basis of my journey and my own work forever. I think it's becoming very clear now about where I need to go, but it's not always felt so clear. So I started off life as a hairdresser, like anyone else, not really knowing what I was doing, fumbling through life, feeling a bit depressed and a bit down. And then when I was 17, I started with like acute autoimmune disease. And when I look back, the signs were there, you know, long before. But obviously being 17 and a bit silly, I was out, you know, drinking, smoking like you do. And no one really had any advice for me. There wasn't like the internet then. I was searching through libraries and books and stuff. But I also wasn't happy with the message, which was, this is what your body's doing. It's attacking itself and that's nothing you can do about it. And I'm like, what? One, why would it do that? Why would my body attack itself? And two, that can't be right. I need to find out a bit more about that. And that's really when it kicked off. It was slow to start, but I started with Reiki at 21, and that pretty much started to open up a whole stream. And as each flare hit me, as each illness hit me, the journey just got deeper and deeper, and took me to help others, really. Took me on that journey to help and guide others, which is lovely. And I love seeing that transformation in people now when they're like, oh, I get it, everything's connected, I can see it now. It's like angels bursting out from my chest or something. It's lovely.
I love that idea. So yeah, interesting. Obviously, over the last few months, I've interviewed a lot of people that have been presenting at the Goddess Gathering and also that are coming to the festivals. And the Reiki attunement's been the kind of switch for quite a lot of people, which is really nice to hear.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a strange event as well, because where I lived, there wasn't anything like that at all around me. And then all of a sudden, you know, this village leaflet dropped into my box, and I'm like, what is Reiki? I don't even know what it is. And then I met my partner, and he kind of had spoken to me a little bit about his mum had done it, and I went to do the attunement. And yeah, I can't say it was life altering then, but when I look back at the little subtle processes, but that, talking to my first Reiki master about what was going on in my eyes and, you know, how it was affecting me and how my thoughts were creating a lot of that thing was a real step into it. You know, really looking at what I was creating in my life and how this subconscious needed to be brought up to the conscious so I could help to heal myself, really, help to see and become more aware of what I was doing to my own body. Yeah.
And I mean, I think obviously there's a lot of exciting stuff happening with Heal Scotland. We've got the festivals, we've got the pop-up healing centre next year, and it's like, well, people like you and I who've spent a long time healing themselves, learning things, moving from one thing to another because you absolutely have to. There's not one size fits all, and there's not one thing that makes you better. It's the accumulation of how you're living that takes you where you want to go or where you don't want to go. And so really what we want to do now is take the decades of research and suffering and help to convince people, that they have that power within. And why do you think it's so difficult for people to believe that?
I think it's been a bit of conditioning, I think I was looked at like completely bonkers, it's like, just take the drugs, they're doing well for you. It was only when I started to, feel so low with it all. I mean, 17, I'm popping drops in my eyes and taking steroids. It's not making anything better, and I certainly didn't feel like the person that I am now from popping the pills. But I do feel that there's this, I don't know whether guru is the right word, but we're always looking outwardly for the answers. And that's the body of my work, is about you've got it all. You've got it all. It's more about peeling back those layers of conditioning and those layers of things that we've learned and responded to. I mean, I know just recently I redid my integral eye movement therapy training, and just the results that I'm getting from that are incredible, just absolutely incredible. How I can shift someone from this to this, and obviously there's a process for them afterwards and in between times, but those 2 initial sessions where I'm helping them clear memories, emotional imprints, and these limiting beliefs, these underlying identities that we're attached to, and it got, it really has surged me forward and helped me drop a lot of crap, which has been great.
Fantastic. I love that. Yeah, the eyes. I mean, when I was learning EFT, the eyes were a big part of it, taking, because you're dislodging. And then it's like EMDR and how that the woman that devised that, she was just walking along looking from side to side, and then suddenly something was released.
Yeah.
And again, we're always looking for these really complicated, some really clever person with 20 PhDs in a laboratory work out the cure for this disease. It's bonkers, because no, actually it's up to you.
It is. I mean, the guy that discovered the therapy and has worked with it really started watching EMDR, and he noticed what was missing out of it and started to adapt it and how it could be worked with in more depth. And I love people like that are actually just prepared to take a bold step out and look like an idiot if necessary and take all the crap, but actually, know that it works. They just know something more deeply inside. And so, yeah, I mean, when I worked in the NHS, I would go through people's layers of medical history like this and longer, put notes like this, prescriptions beyond belief, and they would still feel terrible. And I'm like, how can this be? How can it be? I don't know how we stop this.
Well, the reality is we've got more pharmaceutical drugs than we've ever had in human history, and we've got more dis-ease than we've had in human history.
Yeah.
I remember visiting somebody, and she was taking 30 pills a day, and I realised, she thinks that's going to make her better. Rather than I'm thinking, how toxic on a daily basis are you getting? And what's it doing to your microbiome? And also dulling your energy and sleeping so much. It's just, what are we doing? It's that, I don't know if you've seen Medicating Normal. Have you seen that?
No, I've not seen that.
I even go to the pharmacy to pick up my prescription for my aunt, and I just see the shelves and shelves.
I know.
What the hell?
I know. And because of the way the system is going now, I don't know how people are going to access it, monetary wise and stuff. That's what worried me. I never liked taking a lot of drugs. I mean, my dad was a classic. You got a little twinge, take a pill. And I'm like, no, it's just a little twinge. There's nothing wrong. But, he was the same. He was always on masses of drugs. And even, I can remember him even being on statins, weakness, yellow skin. And I said, you need to come off them. This is clearly the only thing that's changed. And he wouldn't until the doctor told him.
Crazy.
Crazy. You could have throttled him.
No. Yeah, it's I think when you live in our world, and very often what happens is, you know, people come to me when all the drugs and the surgery have failed, and you know, particularly cancer, terminal cancer, but also, you know, just on that downward hill with immune disease.
Yeah.
And you're just like, my God, if you just come at the very start, it would have been so much easier.
No.
And then Candida is going completely
no.
unnoticed. And you're just like, what the hell? How can you be alive in 2024 and not know about that? And how devastating it is, and why the first time somebody comes, is that not the first thing you would check to make sure that all these symptoms that people are presenting with, fatigue, bloating, fogginess, it's just like,
I think
infections. You're just like, I don't need to go any further. You can tell within about 10 seconds what's going on.
You can sense it sometimes from people what they're going through. But I mean, this was my issue with thyroid disease. You know, it's so badly diagnosed. You know, people are being diagnosed with depression. They haven't even looked at their digestive system. They don't check their thyroid. They don't check their hormone levels at all. People don't know what to ask for. They don't even know what the thyroid does. And that's, you know, for me, that was the biggest learning curve. When I got Graves' disease, it was like, no one believes me. Everyone thinks I'm nuts, and they're all trying to send me to the, you know, but actually, as soon as I got my thyroid back and I started to deal with life a little bit better, things were okay. But yeah, I mean, I was so angry, not only at like just being angry because of my levels, but you know, why don't people hear me?
You know, I basically, when I was younger, they put mercury in my mouth, I think, when I was 5. And then obviously I started getting abscesses. My body was rejecting the mercury. And then they gave me antibiotics. And that cycle went on. And then, of course, I started getting sinus infections. And then I got an operation in my nose. And you're just like, oh, I mean, I look back now and I think, oh my God, the lack of understanding of the body is dangerous.
I mean, this was exactly what happened. I mean, I worked in healthcare at the time, and I was just amazed, you know, at the answers I was getting from the knowledge, the small knowledge that I had. And they put me on, you know, anti-thyroid. Then I was still getting obviously heart palpitations. They put me on propranolol, which just made me like that by the afternoon. And then when I started itching, instead of taking me off everything, they wanted to add antihistamine onto that. And I said, no, take me off some stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing that somebody here's saying, Tammy, yeah, good for you. You healed yourself from endometriosis and fibromyalgia. Yeah. I mean, fibromyalgia is not even really, I can't even believe it. It's not even a disease. We have been programmed to see the doctor out. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you know, even the chemistry that we're capable of creating in our brain when we understand how to, and you know, change our brain chemistry, when we understand how to get from fight or flight into rest, restore, and repair. These are the basic things. Sleep properly. We're looking for phenomenally complicated solutions, and it's actually just back to basics. It is so simple.
It's stripping away. It's stripping things back, not adding anything on. It's not really that complicated. You just got like a tangled ball of wool. You just need to pick out thread after thread after thread and just find the root. Yeah,
absolutely. Fibromyalgia, trauma. Yeah, when I was in at the Science and Spirituality conference, I met a woman who treated everybody with fibromyalgia with emotional, you know, going back into and letting go of all of that, and of course it went away. But again, your doctor will never, usually, unless you're lucky, and there's a lot of brilliant doctors out there. I don't mean that to.
No, not at all.
But, you know, and some are realising the cure is not in the operation and in the drugs, that we need to be looking particularly for chronic autoimmune.
Yeah.
I mean, cancer, which is really an autoimmune as well. We need to be looking at the internal environment.
There's no surprise that fibromyalgia is like mostly secondary to autoimmune, and it's like the body just can't take anymore. It's like, I'm telling you, enough, you know, and I don't think we really listen.
It's like,
hello. And to hear now, you know, I mean, like I say, the 2 bodies of study that I did last year was the IEMT therapy, and then this root cause, which is really about emotional anatomy, finding exactly and inquiring, really a journey of really what's your body trying to tell you, and how did we start to feel this way, finding that point and then peeling it back from there, really. And it's been such an interesting journey for myself as well, just this subtle awareness every day of what you can lift off and move. And the thing about the eye movement therapy is it takes people immediately out of this subconscious where they're like really panicking, removes some of these we're not living in the memory or the emotion anymore. We start to move out of that, and so we can directly access that state of the parasympathetic, which is lovely. It's just lovely. And you see people after 2 sessions and they look like different people. I love it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm like that with the Sedona method. You just guide people through, and you just go into peace, and the perception just completely changes in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It's again, it's so simple, but it's actually encouraging people to come along. I was talking to a lovely guy last night, a musician who's going to be playing at the harmonium at the retreat. And I was saying, why do you think we're not getting men along to stuff like this? Because there are a few men, but how can we make it really, really bog standard for everybody? Come on, there's nothing to be scared of. It's no woo-woo hippie stuff. It's just basically learn how your body works and how you can change your own chemistry. You can get out of the fight or flight response. You can sleep better at night. It's basic stuff. And when that happens, you feel better.
I don't know that people actually realise they are in fight flight. I think because the way the world is built, everyone's got to be stressed. You've got to strive. That's the way life is. That's the way it's always been, and so it is. And I'm like, not really. You can deal with things slightly differently. It doesn't make life perfect, but it certainly makes it easier to handle.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing. The other thing is people are not people, and I include myself in that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Just be patient and let the body respond. You do not get a big, beautiful formed bicep by one session in the gym. You go through a process of food, the repetition, and then after a period of time, you'll start to see the definition in the body. And we know that. Most people know that. If you've got your arm in a cast, if you've broken it, you understand that the body will heal itself usually in around 6 weeks. So we don't sit and look at the plaster and go, is it doing it? Is it? It's just like there's certain things that we accept and we understand. But for some unknown reason, it comes to healing the digestive system and the gut. Oh, it's not working. You're like,
and I think this is where we go wrong. We then look for the next thing and the next thing rather than trying something for a period of time. And I don't know, when it comes to change, obviously, we're going to try to change what's been going on forever. There's going to be a little bit of mental and emotional resistance. It's about how you manage that little bit of resistance to reach that. I always say it's like describing like a bit of chewing gum, hanging. We're moving it in between until we reach that stage of you're molding into something completely different. It takes time.
Absolutely takes time. I would tell a story. I don't know. I fell on the ice. I was with my grandkids 2 years past in January, and oh my God, it was so painful. But it was fine. It was just kind of on the surface, but I couldn't kneel on it. I was at a yoga. I did some yoga at the weekend. That's the first time in nearly 2.5 years I've been able to kneel on that knee. Now it didn't bother me because I just put something under it. It wasn't. I couldn't feel it when I wasn't kneeling. It was just to touch. It was really painful. But that's how long it took to heal. Obviously, I'm a lot older than you. And the healing process can slow down, not because it needs to, but just because of the crap you're carrying. Yeah. But again, it's just like most people, and if you look at Gerson as a healing, a way to heal stage 4 terminal cancer, who's going to go, you're in it for 2 years plus. That's it. And most people would never consider that,
It's funny, it takes this long. I mean, for me, when I look at my stuff, I know I started to have digestive issues when I was about 7, quite bad as well. And And then when you look at what carried on throughout my teens and how I treated my body, you know, as you do as a teenager, how much worse that got and how long it's taken. You know, I was 17, I'm fully in remission now. I haven't had a flare, whatever, for 4 years of anything, and hardly any other symptoms of anything either. But that's 17, I'm 49 now. You know, and there's been different layers and different, you know, and sometimes I haven't done and stuck to what I'm supposed to, and that's part of the journey as well. But it's that patience with your own self, I think. That's
So can you tell us what people can expect when they come to meet you at the festival?
A little bit. Hopefully I won't be so chatting away and telling people what they should do.
Will be.
I'm going to be doing a little bit of how I work in general. So I teach Kundalini Yoga as well. So I wanted to bring a little bit of lively chant and stuff to that you can all enjoy and get involved with and raise it up, but also a little bit of dropping into the body and a bit of deep relaxation to kind of tune in and find out what's going on internally to help you go through a process of, oh, actually my body does speak and I don't need to override it. I can just journal this, leave it, and then come back to it and just repeat that again. And I'll be hanging around and chatting to people. So yeah, I'd be happy to chat to anyone that wants to talk to me about.
Yeah, somebody's just come on there saying they were diagnosed with Meniere's disease 13 years ago, and they've got thyroid issues, saying help. So yes, what's the best way to contact you?
So you can, either. Yeah, so drop Prem Yoga Therapy, or just, you know, I'll pop some links underneath here when it goes, and then you email me through the website, message me, and I'll get back to you.
Address, I'll just put that in.
It's emma@premyogatherapy.com. Nice and simple. I'd be happy to help. I think there's a lot of people, autoimmune is really misunderstood. And the information that we're getting from the medical teams aren't really giving the right info either, which is a shame.
I know. Sorry, I put Emma, not Em. It's Emma, not Emma.
It's becoming an epidemic. And from when no one really knew at 17 what it was. Now, they're classifying Alzheimer's as an autoimmune as well. And, what I saw working with elderly in the hospital, I'm really not surprised. The diets that they're giving them, especially in hospital and care homes and stuff, is just horrendous.
The pesticides that they're using on the vegetables.
Sugar in every sense.
I know. You could actually find yourself insane thinking about how they've poisoned and polluted everything and, what it's doing to the human bodies and to the bodies of our animals and our aquatic life, but we're focusing on solutions.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. I really look forward to seeing you, and again, I really appreciate your time at the festival. And there's so many amazing speakers.
No, I can't wait to take part as well. It's great for me.
I know, and we've got the whole family area as well at the gather, so that's exciting. Because it means that people that don't have facility for babysitting, etc., can come and learn and hang out and meet other people. Because I know a lot of it is meeting other people.
It is sharing experiences, definitely.
Yes, exactly, and inspiring each other and getting this information out, because so many people don't know. It was so funny. I'll tell you what happened to me in Edinburgh. Well, first of all, this girl was like, "Why have you got no shoes on?" This is in Dalkeith Country Park, and I was like, took them off and I couldn't be bothered putting them back on, kind of thing. I thought, I'm not going to bother telling you about ground. And then I went into the river, and next thing the park ranger came over, the river there. And I was thinking, does nobody go into that river? Because this is one of the most beautiful parks ever. Amazing river. And he said, oh, you do it at your own risk. I was like, yeah, fine. He said,
yeah, of course.
I was like, yeah, so is everywhere. And then he said, and don't get changed in your car in the car park with all the surveillance cameras on you. And I hung over the wing mirror in the car. He said, when we saw you hanging your washing out, we knew you'd be So yeah, so there's some people not don't know about all this amazing stuff yet. So we're getting the word out, we're spreading the message that, yeah, you are powerful. There's loads of things you can do. And it is simply a case of, are you willing to do it?
I think it is. Yeah, are you ready to dive in? Because it is a journey. It's not a fix. It's a journey to getting to know yourself again. And I think that's really important.
Yeah. Learning the language of this thing, it's talking to you, and you're talking to it. Make sure you're telling it, giving it the right information, and it will absolutely never let you down. So it's a new language, isn't it?
It is. It's innate. It knows you better than you know. The mind is very powerful, but it's also not great as well. It's got some flaws.
Yeah. It can be a wee bit thick at times.
Yeah.
Listen, for anybody that's watching on the replay, if you've got any questions for Emma, if you want to contact her, it's emma@jotpremyoga.com. You can also contact her if you need any help. You can come and visit her at the festival and do one of her workshops. So thank you so much.
It's great. Looking forward to it.
Weeks. Amazing.
See you soon, Lilia. Thank you.
Ciao, hon.